Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to dive a bit into one of my favorite things, and really that is going to be customizing responses and sort of streamlining the process that we are doing when we're getting messages coming through to us. People are filling out our forms, people are engaging with our advertising, and so much more, right? Being able to handle responses quickly, efficiently, and then replying and showing a bit of that human element and being unique to maybe the action that that person has taken is super important, especially when it comes to solidifying the credibility of your business, showing it's well rounded, it's established, you have core foundations in place, you are extremely professional, and this allows you to do just that. Even better, it actually runs, it's going to be running at all times. So no matter when something happens on the customer side or potential customer side, you're going to have something that's going out in front of them and showing a human touch point, allowing you guys to break the mold and really get in front of them a couple extra times than other people are doing normally. So in here, I have a visualization of a system that we'll use today. And in this example, we're going to use, say, someone fills out the form on your website. They want to have more information about what it's like to work with you. Now, again, that's what this can sort of function as in any instance. I'm just going to use this so that way you have an idea, and then we'll go through and build it out together and walk through some stuff. But in this example, we have it set. So we're going to get their first name, last name, email, company details. Then we're going to go through and then get that website. We're going to do some really cool things here, but we're going to send a preset email, the kind of general email that's sort of corporate-y. It's clearly a prepped email. It's just being sent out like, hey, we saw your message. I expect to see something from us briefly. And then we're going to go through and curate the actual unique message that we're going to send out that gives them the impression that you took the time out of your day, you saw the input, their form intake, and that you're going through and responding to them, that you want to have a conversation, right? And this is an extra one that we'll go into. All right, so we're in here, and now we're going to go through and build out the automation. Now, trust me, super simple, easy to do. We have a bunch of different things that we're able to set up here. And of course, the initial piece you have to do when we're getting this started is going to be connecting your form. Now, again, you can have whatever form you're using. It's not a big deal. We're just setting it up so we want to capture the responses from that form, and then we want to go through and then push it through to the rest of this. So again, in this example, we're going to make sure we want to have first name, last name, company, website, email, something along those lines, right? But what I'm going to do instead of just adding in a form in here is I'm going to create a piece in here that allows us to create unique variables. This then allows me to just associate whatever we would like so that we can move the rest of the flow going through. So how this is done is we have first name. I'm going to move this. Last name. Email. Company name. Website.com. All right, now look at this. This sort of functions as similarly to the fields that you would be having on a form. I'm just using this to make it simple so you really can see it does not matter what you're going to have come through. Really, it could be you do a Google form before this, and then you're just pushing the fields from the Google form here, or you're using really whatever other platform. Oftentimes you're probably doing this on your website. So you have a unique form on your website and you're just going to WordPress and you're pulling in whatever form function that you have on there. So we have this. We then need to go through and do one really cool thing, which is going to allow us to curate unique content based on their website. I really love this because it allows us to add a personal touch and show some uniqueness as if we went and checked out their website real quick. So how do you do that? Well, we need to go and look up an HTTP request. We're going to then go through, we're going to make a request. We want to get the URL. We're going to go to headers, and we want to do content, if I can spell, type, application, JSON. We then can come down here to parse response. And then we can put in the website, which is here. Again, this functions as our set variables as we go through all of this. Super simple. Okay. Oh, we need to go through here, go and set body type as raw and the output as application JSON. So then what this allows us to do is actually output the entire website in JSON. So we should be able to, actually, I'm going to go through here and force variables here. So let's say, I filled out a form and we want to just set these to keep it nice and simple for the example. Riggs@gmail, or do Cole's company. And website. In this instance, this does need to be an HTTP request. So we're going to do HTTPS. Then we're going to run once. Boom. And so we do this. There we go. We do this. We open up data. And you'll see we have all the input on here, and it's just all the code on the website. And you'll also see it, doc type HTML. That's great. That's awesome. But what we actually want to go through and do is clean this up a little bit, remove some of the text that is there, really just to make this whole system so much cleaner as we're going through. And so what we're going to go through and do is use a text parser, right? We're going to do this text parser, HTML, the text, because that's what we're parsing, right? Or they're going to grab the data that was right here, and we can hit OK. Now, if we do the same thing, we'll run again. You'll see we've got the text, and it's much cleaner. So we've just gotten rid of a lot of this. By doing this, it actually helps to eliminate a lot of tokens that would normally have to come through and cause just extra credit usages when we are pushing information into AI, just allowing to make our lives easier. So what we want to do is just do what we can here to make it nice and easy. All right, so from here, we then, give me just a second here, already have, really most of what we want to do on the foundations. I'm going to save this real quick. Save. Then we're going to go through and add a variable. What this other variable is, this variable is going to actually allow us to do a little bit of extra magic and help us to break the HTML down even further. So helping to further minimize it by breaking it out into different lines and simplifying the text itself. So we're going to go through, we're going to set a variable. We're going to call this, I don't know, trim and clean up. So how this works, so we're going to take the text. Give me just a second there. Yeah, there you go. Text. Then we're going to go through and do trim quotes. Boom. And then we're going to go through and put in replace. Let me grab. And we're going to go through and do, where are you? New line. So every time it sees a new line in the text, it's going to then parse and replace and clean up, right? So then we're going to go through and do this again, and we're going to put a space there. So doing so, by using this, we're going to further clean up all of the data that's in here. Using this will really help to cut out a ton of the text, allowing us to really reduce a lot of our token usage. So we just have a much more efficient use of OpenAI's API. So again, we can sort of see this. We have all of these outputs. We got these blank spaces here. And then we come to this one, and we have the same thing, but much more condensed and simplified. It's still a good amount of text, but I'll tell you what, this, on a quick and dirty version of this to help you get yourself going is going to be way better than using this version, which has tons and tons of extra text that is just not needed, right? So, what we have at this point is we want to go through and sort of send out an initial email. So, right, of course, like we have the person, they filled out the form, we've captured some data, we've done a little bit of fancy parsing, but we want to go through and do that initial email that gets sent out to the person. That's sort of the canned response that we would normally present. Like, hey, thanks for filling out our forms. Just to let you know, we'll be out in front of you here shortly, right? So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go here, we're going to go to email, we're going to hit send an email. We want to save the message in our inbox so that way it's there. Now, generally, you'll probably want to assign a generic email like info at your company. So it's associated to the corporation and not an individual person. This helps to differentiate the messages that we're going to push through, right? So that way, one truly feels internal to external, right? And the other one feels like a person to person. So we have this, we have our connection, sent mail, totally fine. We're going to make the recipient I'm going to clean this up here. Hold on. Recipient, the email, subject line. We're going to do following. We'll say, hey, thanks for completing the form. I can spell correctly. We'll be in touch in 5. Right? That's just a nice little intro here, right? We're going to change the content type to plain text. Super important, makes it nice and simple, simplifying the whole process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my existing structure here, just so you guys see how I've been doing this, and then we can talk through it. So one of the structures I've been doing just fine, it works for this as we go through, is hey, we can actually just do hey. Hey, Cole, it's Brain Gear. This is the Brain Gears team. Just want to let you know that we received your submission. We're excited to get back to you. Please keep an eye out on your inbox. Our team prides themselves in getting back to people within 5 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you, Brain Gears team. Super simple, straightforward, nice and easy. You'll want to send it fairly quickly anyways. So this way, it's understood that it's a pretty canned push out. So we're going to hit OK. Then we're going to go through and we want to go through and do the extra fun one, which is leveraging AI. So how are we going to do this? Well, what I recommend us doing is we're going to go here to OpenAI. We're going to create a chat completion. We're going to choose our model. Tokens can be 0, totally fine. Role, we're going to say you are... I'm just going to copy this over, streamline it. This isn't so much so about me, how magically can I type in a prompt here for you, but more so how can I show you the structures and the process that you can use to streamline key aspects of your business, right? So here it is. You are a helpful and intelligent writing assistant. Please do not output anything except for what is asked. Again, we always want to use a system prompt out of the gate so that way it has a set setting and structure. From there, we're then going to provide the user input. So we're going to provide the details of what we're looking to have it do and maybe an example here. So that way it's taking those inputs and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to copy this one as well, streamlining the process for us. Don't need to be a 50-minute video of you watching me type things in, right? So we're going to do this. Let me move this over here. For some reason, it does not want to let me move things over today. So we go, hi, first name. There we go. So let me scroll this up. So what is this initial initial prompt here for the user. Below is a website scrape and some contact details. Use it to customize an email, reply to a prospect, write in a short, succinct way. Use this template, filling in the variables with the data from the site. Do not output anything except for the email copy. So then we're going to go through, show the example email copy, so that way it understands what's the structure, the formatting that it's taking. So we have hi, first name, thanks for reaching out, whatever the company's name is, right? Looks great. Love your unique value proposition. This is something, both of these pieces are unique pieces AI will create by looking at their website. Super awesome. I'm out of the office right now. Do you want to chat later today when I'm back? Happy to give you a ring. Send over a few times. Tomorrow works as well. Thanks. So what's really awesome about this is that regardless of the time of day, you can still say you're out of office at the time. Maybe you're out doing something, you're just busy, right? You want it to feel succinct, unique, like you were on your phone and you just had the message come through that they filled out the form, and you want to then provide just a quick response, right? You want it to not feel like it's overly done up, like a ton of work and time was put into your message, so that way they understand that it's feels like it's truly coming from another person. So using this has been a great method for helping us to get much faster reply rates and engagements from our ads and our forms and really the other stuff that we're doing. So we have this. Then we're going to do one final message in here that is user. We're going to do first name. And then we're going to go through and do the website scrape. So website scrape. We then are going to then take the trim and cleanup, right? So this one here, we're going to put that there. So what's going to happen? I'm actually going to move this to the other side, so that way we can just run these for the time being. Save, run once. Beautiful, came through. Hi, Cole. Thanks for reaching out. AdLabs marketing looks great. Love your results-driven advertising. Out of the office right now. Want to chat, right? It's super simple, super sweet, awesome. It's great to have coming through. It's fairly quick, right? It's not also not that expensive to run. So literally pennies. So now we can just go through here, drop in that email. This is sort of that canned email. Now we're going to just duplicate this. We're going to create the email that's going to be the like human email, right? The one that we're going to have that's going to represent us as if we're messaging them. This one's even more simple than what we had to do with this one. So again, we're here. We can literally just delete all of this. Why? Well, we're taking the output from OpenAI. So we hear that. Choices, content. There you go. Here's their email. And we do want to play around with the subject line a little bit. You can throw in emojis in there, whatever you want, but you could quite simply just do, hey, actually, no, you could just do what I'm doing here. Cole here. Cole here. Nice to meet you. Super simple, nice and easy, and you're done. Okay. Now we're going to do another one. We're going to hit save, run once, and then I'm going to open up my email on the other side here, and so that way you guys can see it. Let that all go through. Alrighty. And so there we go. We have Cole, nice to meet you. And then we have this one as well. Thanks for completing the form. We'll be in touch in 5 minutes. Now, of course, this is being sent from my other email, but this gives you guys a quick and dirty idea of how this would all be done. So nice and easy. Super simple, right? But it allows for quick, streamlined processes. Also, there's no delay here, so it doesn't feel very authentic. So we're going to want to go through and add a bit of a delay between these two. So let's just go through and do that now. We're going to hit right click, add a module. We can just type in sleep. And this does it based on seconds. It's a key point here. So you can't just do 2 because it's just 2 seconds. So we need to do, I don't know, 3 minutes is fine. You could do like 190, right? Somewhere around there. Maybe like between 150 seconds and maybe 200 seconds. Give you a rough range. And with this, hit OK. And then what'll happen is you'll run this, and then every time it comes through, you'll have a partial sleep between these two. So on the most bare bones level, this is technically done. Now, this isn't including some really important pieces we're going to need. But yeah, I mean, you could technically call this done if you did not care if it breaks. So, but let's make a few extra changes going from left to right. So at the very beginning, we need to actually set up what is an error handler in the event that the module just doesn't process the website itself. Because often people put in their websites wrong, they don't put it in the right format, maybe just something breaks. There's going to be instances where the website module doesn't work, and we need to have a way for us to communicate with them still and as close to a unique method without this whole system breaking, right? So all we got to do is we need to come here, right click, add an error handler, and we can hit ignore. So in the instance that this does not work, it's going to then continue through. And then from here, if the output of this doesn't work, we need to then route to a new direction. So why do we need to route right here and maybe not right here? Well, this variable only comes if this works, right? So if the data here is able to be parsed. So if there's no data there for this to parse, it's just going to function without any issue. But if you added this one in, it's going to break because it's looking for this data and there's nothing in there. So we can just do it here, and we'll add a filter to all of this. So this will just function as 0, right? This tries to run, it doesn't, then it goes here, and then it's going to route between these two, right? We'll add in filters between them. So then we're going to go here and then add in basically just this. Like we can just do a simplified version of all of this here. Give me just a second here. And it can literally just be this. Delete module. Much more simple and pretty. And we're going to make that nice and aligned here for us. So how this works is if the module is empty, then we're going to go through and send out these ones. If the module has data, it's then going to go here. So we can just sort of set that up real quick. So if text does not exist, go here. All right. And so if that data does not exist, go into here. If it does, go into that route function normally. So the one thing that we will need to do though in this instance is we need to change out the human email with something else. And I'm going to grab the example that I use for this. And it's basically just a simplified version of what we've done to train the AI in our structure. But we can come here, content, context. And essentially how this one is just a little bit more simple than what we were doing before, but it's still more than good enough. It's just like last ditch effort to make sure we have something that's still going to them from our personal email. And it's hi, first name, thanks for reaching out, just out of the office right now. But do you want to chat later today when I'm back? Happy to give you a ring. Just send over a couple of times. Tomorrow works too. Thanks. Cool. Right? Super simple, straightforward, nice, and easy. So we can hit save, and then we have basically the whole flow already added. The one thing I would really say is really good to do is to add in an extra piece where you're giving your team communication on whatever platform you're using. So if you have let's see here. We want to say create a message. I really think it's important for us to create a message directly to an individual or just to the channel that makes the most sense. So let's just say general for this one. And it's just literally, first name, intake form, and we've sent intro message, email. There we go. Just something nice and simple, right? So it's better to have this than not. We can hit OK. We can then clone it, drop it on this one, save again. And then actually I would run, but what I want to do is I want to change these times because otherwise we're going to be sitting here blankly for a long while. So we're just going to hit 1 second on both of these and go from there. We're going to hit save and let's run it. So there goes through. It runs through because the filter says so, because you're right, the data doesn't exist. Well, data does exist. So we then went through, we set up these variables, we created the chat completion, we sent the initial email, we slept for the time we needed to sleep, we sent them a custom email, and then we created a message under general chat right there. So there we go. Under general, boom, blank just filled out time to book a call. Amazing. So come back here and here it is again. Boom. There we go. Great. So this is how we sort of do this. Now, again, if you want to do this for each individual piece, you can. What's really cool is what I mean by that is you could do it for your website form, create a unique one of these for the website form, maybe another one after a ad is completed, like someone goes on a Facebook ad, fills out those lead generation forms. Maybe you want to create a unique output in connection with that, so on and so forth. There's tons of instances to where this could be used, and I really hope this has been helpful. I use this all the time. It's one of my favorite little things to do. It saves me a lot of time not having to go and write an email to respond as quickly as possible. I also do this for my cold emails. So when I get a response and someone clicks on a cold email, fills out a form specifically through my cold emails, I have a completely different structure that I try to use just for that. So I hope it's been helpful. If you love this, let me know. Please subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any comments, questions, and I'll see you guys in a new video.